Hello and welcome to Mistletoe's progress report on her hamster handling. Mistletoe has been doing great, and she's even been receiving a little help from our other hamster, Lucy. Lucy is a dwarf hamster, and Lucy has actually been showing Mistletoe that being handled isn't so scary once you're used to it. And it might sound a little crazy, but I think it's actually helping Mistletoe to become more comfortable. Mistletoe has been attending our hamster handling sessions more often, and we've been able to practice handling her a lot more. Handling dwarf hamsters can be easier than handling Syrian hamsters, but it can also be much more difficult in some ways. Although Lucy has actually been a pro from day one. However, every hamster is obviously different, and every hamster will need their own time. Teaching your hamster to become well adjusted to being handled can indeed be a lot of work. Although some hamsters can take fairly quickly to being handled, others will need more time to warm up to you. Dwarf hamsters can be very fast and jumpy, which can make them more difficult to handle. And Syrian hamsters are larger, so that can make them more difficult to handle also. But Lucy is totally fine with being handled. She is very fast, and she can be jumpy. When she's being handled, she's very, very good with it. However, she has to keep moving. She needs to constantly be moving. She never likes to stay still. And with Mistletoe just is she's much slower being handled. She's much slower going from one hand to the other, but because of her size, it can be a little difficult because she needs to feel comfortable in your hands, and because some of her body isn't able to fully stay cupped in the one hand, she can sometimes feel a little off by that. There are a lot of hamster people out there that make hamster handling look extremely easy. But teaching your hamster to trust you and like you is very important, and it is not always easy. So the main thing is to stay patient and also consistent. And once you do that, and also if you're using any kind of reward like treats, they will tend to trust you a lot faster. One of the reasons it's taken Mistletoe so long to become well adjusted to being handled is because we were not always consistent in the beginning, because she did not want to come out of her house all the time. But we've been much more consistent lately. She's been much more willing to come out of her house. In fact, she's been out of her house almost every night for, I guess, a couple weeks now. There's only been like 1 or 2 days that she's missed. And since we've been much more consistent, Mistletoe's been a lot less anxious. And it's just really important for your hamster to feel comfortable. If they're not comfortable, then it's just never going to happen. Mistletoe's become much sillier and much more playful, and she's definitely allowing me to pick her up much more often. She's also becoming a lot faster when she's going from hand to hand. Now, like I was saying earlier, it's a little bit more difficult for her to go from one hand to the other because of her size. She wants to feel fully secure in your hand, and since not her entire body can fit in one hand, she sometimes feels a little off by that. But she's doing really great, and she's becoming a little faster going from hand to hand. Her other thing is she has to stop a lot because she has to listen to everything that's going on in the house. No matter what she is doing in the playpen, in her house, during handling time, no matter what she is doing, if she hears something going on anywhere in the house, it could be downstairs or it could be upstairs where we are at. It might not even be in the room, but she has to stop and listen to whatever is going on. Mistletoe has been with us now for about 5 months, and we've never had any of our little guys take so long to become well adjusted to being handled. But, as I've said before, every little guy is different. And we're making a lot of progress, but we're obviously not perfect yet. And it's really never going to be perfect. But it's a very slow process, and patience is a virtue. So, we're just doing our best to stay patient and consistent and, going by Mistletoe's needs and desires. If she's not ready to be handled, then we do not attempt it. Mistletoe has become a really great listener. She actually comes when she is called. And it's just been really amazing to see her, progress like that. We're still using her hamster ball for transporting her from her house to her playpen or wherever she needs to go. And when Mistletoe is ready to go back to her house, she will run right into her ball. She's not shy to tell us when she's had enough with being handled too. So if we're in the middle of a session, she'll let us know that, hey, this hamster handling session is over. Sometimes she feels a little awkward going from one hand to the next. And as I said before, I think that's because of her size, and she needs to feel fully secure in the one hand. But more practice time with her has made things much, much easier. It's important not to force it. You really can't rush the process. Every little guy is different, and every little guy is going to need their own time. Keeping your anxieties to a minimum is definitely very helpful as well. If you don't feel comfortable handling your hamster will never feel comfortable allowing you to handle them. Hamsters feed off of your emotions, so again, if you are not comfortable, they will not be comfortable. The important thing is to try and ease your own anxieties. It's not always easy because it can be very scary handling your hamster, as you do not want them to become injured or, cause anything bad to happen. So it is very intense at times and can be very stressful. But again, it's just really important to find a way to keep your own anxieties to a minimum, so that way your hamster can feed off of your positive emotions and feel much more comfortable being handled. In fact, one of the reasons why it's taken Mistletoe so long was probably because in the beginning I was much more anxious. But once I found a way to lessen that, I think she became more comfortable.
Please give Mistletoe a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more of Mistletoe's hamster handling. Thank you.